Hello, everyone, or whoever, whatever. Um, this is the tenth community stream, I think. Yeah. Anyways, we continue where I left off. Now, I have sunburn. It stings a lot. Hate it. Owie. Uh, all right. I might stop streaming this series for a little while. I'm not sure. I might just go back to streaming games. Just give this on my own time. Uh, so I don't need a reset. Not yet. Think. I mean, I have a built-in reset anyways, just because Unity, when you play, it will reset it. Gotta turn my YouTube on. I always forget to do this. But while that's loading, yeah, target self, local, non-local. I want to start with non-local, so I can like jiggle these slider bars around and see if I get some different effects. Um, why is this so hard to use? There we go. But yeah, after I do this and figure out this camera shit, because of my weird way of doing things, we move on to my to-do list. I have a test game I want to make, which I might have to turn it into like a parody if I want to release it publicly, because it's just I can't say too much, but it falls under fair use if I do decide to make it. I just don't know if I want to deal with the hassle of stupid corporations. I'll probably just not do it and just make my game. But it would be a good test project. I can't tell if it undid that. No, I didn't, because that up there looks just fine. I do actually like doing this. This saves a whole mind. If you hit Shift Tab, it's fast. Where is it? It's a little faster. You still have to hit backspace to go up a line. That looks nice. Okay. So now that I have all of this stuff, I can access it from a separate script for movement. So transform to angle. Then we'll take the angle and we'll put that into the character control, which I can't because angle is not public. But actually, before I do, I'm skipping ahead. I have to just test these as is before I move on to that. Need to see what inverse transform point is. No, so basically like self space, so from world to self. Yeah, I want to try this, but not right now. Uh, I'm tired. All right, so that's good. Good. Target transformed to position. That's public, I hope. Yes, good. I just need to attach this to the cube, parent, which is all three, and then the tangent will go into the target transform. Also, it looks like I forgot something. If local variable equal true, current value equal math, move towards local variable equals true. I forgot to, because this is target self true twice. I forgot to change that. I also didn't do it up here either, so I gotta fix this. So we gotta go to the old style. At oops. Put another if in there. If target self equal true. Take this. I screwed up already. Another if. Maybe it's false. Do I need to do that? I think I could do that in a separate. I think I could do that in the update. Because this doesn't. This is just numbers. The value that's being outputted. I could do it here in the method, because the method's going to be get put into the update, anyways. So I gotta rethink this. I gotta redo this. So put that back because it's just a number. And then if target self equal true, and then we'll run the code there. Move towards current value, min, max value, default rate. We'll just do this could be rotation because this is angle anyways. We'll just have this one over here be that. It's kind of like this, but instead of a transform dot Euler equals, we do transform dot position. And I think we could use the Z. So we'll do transform transform tram. That's like a car, isn't it? Like a train. Position equal new vector 3. Do 0, 0. Current value max out. So the current value is constantly moving towards that max value. So what's going to happen here is if our current value, when we start out, is less than I should make this starting value. Starting, this current value would be equal to, like as soon as this is ran, it will become starting value is only current start. It's just a terminology thing. You could call these variables anything you want. It doesn't matter, but the more concise, the easier it is to read and understand what's going on. So we want to use current value. This current value is where the formula is put into, where this math is being performed. It's a number changing to the speed of the default rate up to the max value. And that will be applied to the Z. So what's going to happen is it's going to move forward. It's going to get faster, 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 faster. In theory, assuming I did this right, until it reaches its maximum. It won't change. Just speed, that speed from then on. What the hell is that? I need a new keyboard. This thing is gross. Or just clean it. I want a rainbow keyboard. Rainbow keyboards are cool. I have a rainbow mouse. I had a rainbow keyboard, but I'm an idiot and I bought a big old chunky keyboard and it sucked. Can't type fast on it at all. I think it was designed just for playing games. It might actually be really comfortable for gaming, but I need to be able to type fast. So I can't use that. And we'll do else, which would be, instead of transform position, it will be target that position And I should make a a public vector because I could shorten this and it would be less clunky. So I could just have it equal this vector, uh, which would only run in. So actually, yeah, I could do that. I could actually do this. I could go down one line, and then I'll make a public. Does it need to be public? Does it need to be public? I'm just going to assume it needs to be public. So public vector 3. There's a problem here. I think that's a lot of vectors. I want like 20,000 different things here. Public vector. So this is move towards. Move vector towards vector curve, move curve vector, move scale, move rate. I think move. I think just move vector is what I'm going to use. Union. I think I might need this. I don't know. Keep it test for now. So we have a transform.uangles, which has a new vector 3 angle, which I could bypass if I just put it here and advance and then input it here, and it would look a lot better. It's a lot easier to read when you define your terms in advance and then take that term and then put it in there. When you have to make and construct a new thing, that's when it gets harder to read. When you're constantly constructing new vector 3 and then typing it in manually. It's like I could take, instead of inputting angle in here, you could just put mathf.move towards angle, parentheses, transform.angles.y. You could type all that into where angle is, but it would look like crap. So I am going to make this look better. Which means I need another vector. Maybe. I just don't know if I need it to be public. I don't think I need it. If I do need it, I'll go back and add it. So I think just assume you don't need it, and then if you do, you can just go back and add it. It's not hard. You can just upgrade a local variable pretty easily. All you have to do is copy it, put it in the declared list, and then remove the declared, like, see how it says float down here on the local? You can just delete that and then take local default, and you can make it a declared variable up here just by copying it. Just take this, copy it, and retype it. So I think I'm going to do that from now on. I'll make it local, and then if I need it to be public, I'll make it. Because I never know when they make it public, unless it's obvious, like a setting that needs to be constantly adjusted. It gets a little more complicated when you don't know if another script or another game object needs to interact with it separately. So we'll get rid of that, and So we'll make it here. We'll call it move vector 3 move. It gets extra complicated. I just remembered something I think is relevant. Timers. Timers do not work very well if you make it local. If you declare it, it works a little bit better because there's other things you could do. I don't know why it's that way, but it is. Like if you make it local, it's a pain in the ass. There's a bunch of extra steps you have to do. So move vector equal new vector 3, and I have to declare this after so I can get the current value. Current value doesn't exist if I write this before it. It won't recognize it. So you have to make sure you have the correct order for your variables. So if you're trying to make a variable to input into another variable, it has to be after because it won't see it. So current, did I spell that wrong? Veil, yeah, I did. There you go. So now I can just take this and put it move there. So I only had to write the line once, and I don't have to duplicate it. Because if it would have extended all the way over here to the edge. So if I screwed up again, yep, right there. So that looks better, all right. And then and then do the same thing. Target. Oh yeah, else. I already did that. No, I already did that. It's the else. That's why else is so good. You don't have to make multiple thingies. It's like 2 ifs. It's wonderful. Done with that. And this is reusable. I could just take this and then copy it. And then I can go down here. I got to redo this though. So enter, tab, so paste, enter, paste, and go here. And do this. Current value will no longer be current value. It will be local default times 2. Or no, I'm an idiot. It'd be local. Yeah, it'd just be local default. I'm a dummy. That. Vector 3 move vector equal new vector 3 0 0 0 0 default, which is just 0.5. As target set of true, return just means local default. Why do you not like this? What is your problem? Oh, I'm an idiot. It'd be move vector. I'm a stupid idiot. It's already done. If target set equal true, transfer position equal dot move vector, else target transfer dot position equal move vector. Vector 3 move vector equal move vector 3 equal default. Yep, all looks good to me because they're current and starting at max are all the same except maximum is times 2. So it works because it's 0.5 times 2, which is 1. If I didn't have times 2 in there, it would just be the starting, the current, and the max would just be a static 0.5. And the local variables, when move towards is ran with local variables, if that wasn't times 2, it would just be a constant movement at 0.5 on the forward C vector. But since I have the max value local default times 2, it doesn't care if it's the same variable since we're timesing it by 2. It just cares about the number, the data type. The data type is float. So it doesn't care where the variable's coming from. It just wants a number, and it will give you a number back based on the mathematical formula. Some things care about the variable, like you have to obviously you have to spell it right. If it's not spelled right, it won't work. Strings and stuff like that care about exact wording. But ultimately, it's data types, and you also want to make sure you're inputting the data type that you want to go into the correct spot. Like if you make a bunch of variables, you have to keep track of which ones you want and where they need to go. But ultimately, this doesn't make a distinction between those variables. It only wants the correct data type for the position that the function has. And that took me a while to wrap my head around because it's a lot of converting. It's taking raw numbers, adding them into vectors or quaternions, and then converting vectors and quaternions into something else. There's a lot of conversion because you can't take vector 3 can't equal a quaternion, but you could do that if the quaternion is multiplied by a vector, which changes it for somehow. I don't know how. There's a math reason for that. So this is done, and then now I gotta do this one because I fucked up here. I gotta target self twice, and I can make it look better. So we're gonna make a new vector 3. We're gonna make this local, and we're gonna call it angle vector. Don't know if I'm allowed to do that. We'll see. New vector 3 dot. Does this have like anything on it? No, it does not. Well, it's using the code is using a vector anyways, and it looks like it calls for a vector because I'm pretty sure I just copied that from the documentation. I can't remember. Transform.angles equals new. So yeah, it's a vector 3 because that's what it's asking for down here. It's a vector 3. What does it do? Sometimes it'll tell you. Get set. Yeah, equals transform.angles vector 3. Is that because I put that there? Or is that because I can't tell that's because I put the equal sign. What if I put a 35? I'm just putting a float in here just to have it. If I do 35. Now it's asking because okay, cool. It's literally asking for a vector 3. If you hover over the equal, it's like it has to be a vector 3. That's really handy. Thank you, C#/Unity plugin. And that's what I meant earlier. Like it will not accept data types. It will accept any variable as long as it's the correct data type. And the data type it's asking for is a vector 3. And if you break that down, that's 3 floats. I don't know. I don't think it can accept an integer, but it might be able to. Anyways, I'll just copy this because this is all I'm going to type anyways. Oops. Yeah. And we'll take angle vector and we'll just put it in here. I don't know how to spell it. Angle L vector. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Angle. How do I spell angle? A-N-G-L-E. Angle This makes you feel crazy sometimes. Question your spelling. Damn, done. So transform, target transform. We'll do the same thing. We'll just take this and copy it. This is all we need. If a weird is true, and I could turn this into an else, which would this would stop breaking things. I'm going to do that up here as well. The double if is bad because you could enable both of them on accident. I think the double if is fine, and it may even be required depending on what you're doing. It all depends on what you're doing. But I think in this instance, I would rather have else because I don't want shit to break. I don't want my local variables and my declared variables to get glued together on accident. So I'm going to change it to an else. And then I'll take this. There. Oops. There we go. What happens if I put this here? Can I put a bracket here? Is that legal? No, it's not. Dang. I thought maybe I could save another line. I don't know if that matters. Don't need that. If local variable equal true, angle, that blah, 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 transform, that target value, that default rate. This is the local, so I got this backwards. Variables. Pretty lazy. Shit. Screwed up. So we'll do false. I gotta swap this, I did it backwards. Just gonna have to deal with it. I'm just gonna move on as fast as way. False. Wait, just delete this. Else. I gotta poop again. Oh my god. I would make a space between my declared, both local and declared variables. I like to separate my variables from my ifs. Transform. Where these all look like local variables to me. What's going on here? Target value. Okay, I see. If local variables equal true, else. Okay, that one's actually correct. Local, because this doesn't take any values. Unless I want to put in 0.5, which would half it, which is not helpful. I could do times 3. I could slow it down because I could have target value be faster or even slower than the local variable. But I would also be fucking with the default state. It just doesn't call for anything else. And I'd rather have the default state, which is this. There's no extra math there required for this to run. Besides target transform that position. I mean, I guess I could make up a fake position, but it's not really necessary. So that one's fine. Save. Flow beers is false, uses declared. Else uses local. What? That noise is what? Pain pills? I got plenty of them. There's a lot in here. Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm gonna get 2 of them.
Oh, okay. 3 is the maximum. You got to fit the drink. Well, boobies! Poke, 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 poke. Alright, so it looks like that's everything. I just have to stick this onto my target, and to, I guess, the parent, which is confusing. Fuck, the original, because the target would be the tangent object, which is just a separate object, away from the original. And this has to go on the original. Um, so this is going to confuse me, so we're just going to get rid of this because it's not in play. This is also not in play. Function. What is math function? I don't know what that is. Ah. No, I already have math function. What am I doing with my life? Shit. Fuck. Shit. Shift tab. String transform equal this step. Transform. Alright, done. Save. Stick it onto parent object. What the hell? Oh, it's still compiling. So transform. I'm cheating here because I'm sticking it on transforms. Because this also does rotations, I think. Why is this being so much? Test axis. I think literally all I need is math test. Whoa, that looks so cool. Look at this. It's so cool looking. Put my own things in here. I can even change so default value is 0.5. I would like to have these automatically set. Like a default for all my player variables. It's a bit messy. So we're going to test move towards, that's the name of the method, and the string required to trigger a true return statement, I think. So yeah, save. I go back. I need to go into the start. And I need to give. I guess I could go. Can I do? I don't think I'm allowed to do math here. Equals false. Yeah, it doesn't recognize it. Yeah, it won't take it. So I'll have to do it in the start. So start. And we'll start with minimum value equal default value times. I gotta get. Where's my calculator? I need to get 0.5. Sorry, F current value F alt rate F starting rate 0.5 F. I'm not allowed to do math. I guess I could just pick something at random. That would be easier than doing the math, but I want to do times 0.1 is not so times, yeah. So that'll make minimum value 0.1, max value, which is 1.25 in this case, I suppose. Yes, that seems about right. Max value equal default value times. So we gotta get, I think 3 is what we want. 25 times 3. No. We'll just do 1.25 divided by 0.5. It's 2.5. F. Same for minimum rates. Alt value. Stop it! Why did I put a space? I'm so stupid. You know what? I'm just gonna copy and paste. It's literally the same thing. Max rate. Five. Target value. I forgot what I did with that. I made that, but I forgot what that's for. What is target value? What are you? What are you? Move towards angle. Transformed at your angle Y. Target value. Default rate times 10. Wouldn't target value be like, I don't know what this means. Move towards angle. I don't know what this means. It's moving towards just a random number, like just a random angle. I guess it doesn't matter. Like 0.5, I guess. I think this, yeah, would just be 0.5f. And since we're using it for angles, I'm just gonna change this to negative 180 f and positive 180 f. Just because fuck it. And we'll have it default to 0, I guess, which would be the middle. Which means I don't need to assign it, it's just 0. Which would probably do nothing, but we'll see. Maybe we should do 360. I think. 180. I'll do 180, fuck it. Because, sure, we'll just do 180 for now. Negative 180 and 180. Save. It should define all starting values. It makes it easier to reset if I get something weird happens. Just clean this up, make it look better. Save. 132 lines. Well, yeah, I don't think that's too bad. Alright, clear. I'm going to delete this, put it back on. It's all, wait. Oh, it's because when it starts, I'm an idiot. This will turn to, the values that I inputted are 0 because it's on start when it runs. It'll do that. So move towards. The tangent will go into here. We're not going to use local. We're going to target self. So the tangent will be ignored for this first test. Just going to kind of look at it from this view. And the camera for the player is still active, so we'll also look at it from that view as well. We're just going to hit play, see what happens. Okay, so it did move. It looks like it's not like a constant movement. It's just a point movement. Like it moves to a point, which is fine. Okay with that. But it is a little confusing because it had, at least I thought it had the rate, but I guess not. So now what I can do is, while looking at it, hit Windows key, click over here. Where is it? Transforms. Here. Well, no, I was in the start method, wasn't it? So it's trying to move towards a value, but I guess it made it already. Is the max value? No, max value is 1.25. Why is it not doing it? It's resetting. Why is it resetting? Is it because the minimum value is 0.1? That might be the problem right here. Minimum value. It's mostly just stuck in that position. Why? Minimum value is not used, I think. Float local default equal default value. If local variable is false, current value equal math.move towards starting value. Max value default rate times time. 3 move vector equal. So starting value is 0.5, max value 0.5. Current value is 0.5. Current rate, starting rate, default rate. Okay, that makes sense because everything's the same. It makes perfect sense. It's also float, and like I said in the last episode, I think the epsilon thing. You can see how floats are very inconsistent. So it's all fives, but when a float's actually floating, it like the decimal goes crazy. So even though you put in 5 for float, it does this kind of stuff. If it was an int, it would stay at 5. Which is why if you're ever checking, if floats, like if you're trying to compare floats for similarities, you need to use approximately or you need to use epsilon. I learned that the hard way, but that was fun. I was surprised how fast I fixed that. So the starting value, the current value, we don't care about the current value because that's going to change based on the starting value. So what we're going to do is we're going to stat, change starting value to 0.1. The max value is fine. The default rate, are we using a rate? We are using a rate. So the rate's too fast. So we're going to make that 0.1 as well. And that it should last longer, hopefully. I don't think this is this time, but okay, it is times that time. So we should actually see it. Because when I hit start with the default settings, it reached its maximum and then just stayed there. We didn't get to see it move towards its maximum. Now, I messed something up because it's stuck at 1. What did I do wrong? Fuck that. Current value equal starting value. Max value. The max value is 1.25. The default rate is 0.1. Times the delta time. Value. The fuck, game? What the fuck, game? Max value is default value times 2.5. The default value is 0.5. Rate default value is 0.5. Well, all the math checks out. I don't know what the problem is here. Default rate is 0.1. Current value is 1. Max value is 1.25. Should go to 1.25, but it's not. Yeah, the current value went straight. Oh, I see what the problem is. So current value, starting value is 1. So current value is equal to starting value, and it goes to 1. The default rate is 1. But the max value is 1.25. See, this is what I mean. All of that made sense, what I just said. That made sense. At least it made sense to me. But the math function doesn't care. That's not how it looks at it. It's looking at it differently. The math is doing it differently. I hate that shit. I think the starting value has to be higher than the current value. I guess. I don't fucking know. Ridiculous. Yeah, I think it needs to be like this. And this needs to be like that. It keeps getting glued to itself. I don't understand. I'm not using the same variable twice. Huh. What's it asking for? Float current, float target. Times, so it should be constantly doing it because it's times until time. Or maybe it's too slow. The default rate times until time would be every second, so maybe it's too slow because it's half a second. But half a second's not that slow. It's fast. Hmm. Yeah, I knew it was gonna do this shit. Bunch of horse shit. Because here's the description. Moves a value towards a target. Right? That's not complicated. It's not complicated. Oh, look, that's itself twice. I see, that's the problem. That's where I fucked up. That makes sense, because normally C sharp warns you when you have a variable equal itself, unless you do other modifications to it. I add an extra variable in here I didn't need to do. So this should be, hang on, okay. This should be current twice, which is a little confusing. So the local actually would have worked fine, would have worked better than what I had. So save. The only downside is I can't like have a starting value here. Current value. Can I do a double equal? Is that legal? Can you do that? Holy crap! They're crazy. Whoa! So that's what I wanted. Was this right here? Can you? I can't believe it let me do that. I wanted current value to equal starting value, and then reach the maximum. So now we're using the same value. We're using current value now. Okay, now it should work as intended, in theory. And I'll just hit play and see what happens with the defaults. It should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Shit. It don't matter. I just trying to be consistent with what it targets. Still wiggling in place though. It's weird. Could be the since I set it equal to it just creates the same exact problem I have. Yeah, it's equal to, so it doesn't want to move off of it. It's glued to that number, regardless of the math function. The math function's trying to do math, but it can't because I made it equal to. has to be like a fixed. It has to be a fixed value. It's so. Ow. So I gotta bypass it. Only on start does current value equal starting value. It only does it once and only on start. And then this will be as it wants it to be. So current value should start, since I made current value 0, basically. When I hit start, it should go to 0.5, and then after that, it should go to 125. Yeah, perfect. And that's like the whole thing about programming. It's very, very literal. You may read it, and you may think you understand it, but just because it makes sense doesn't mean that's how it works. Which is part of the, I think, the difficulty, the learning curve for Unity and C#. Like, the plain, it's like a fucking card game. The plain English says one thing, but the interpretation of that is a whole nother thing. So the interpretation can be literally correct, and you could be correct too. That's the problem. Both the way it runs the code and how Unity and C# interprets the code is as equally valid as how you read it. Irregardless if you're technically right or wrong. Like grammatically, you could be correct. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry, y'all. These bagel chips are so fucking good. I can't stop eating. They're really good. And they're very loud. I can't even hear the rain. I have like rain in the background. It's not being recorded. Um, like a YouTube video. Not real rain. I can't even hear it when I'm eating these. It's like so crunchy. So that worked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do wow. That's kind of cool. Why is it doing that? No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this. Shit. We'll just take this out. Like that. Can I go to 0? The local variables don't work. That's crazy. I think the maximum was 1 because the local variable was 0.5. Huh. Actually, I know what the problem is. It's too simplified the way I was doing it. Because I'm making itself equal to itself, then times it by 2, which it's like canceling itself out. It will only ever be 5. I have too many instances of the local variable. If I take it out and make it times 2, it should work. Actually, I should just put 1 in. I already know what the number is. 1. It's just 1. Um, 5F, because we already know what the local variable is. Local default, I mean. Local default equal default values. That also might be the problem, because I declared that in these. This should be in the start. This should not be here, which is a problem. Ow! Oh. Oh, stretches. Hmm. What if I put I'm gonna put I could maybe overload it. I think would that work? No, overload would be coming out of the moved forward. So I want something to go into it. So that would work. I think I'll just use a multiplier because that would be easier. Oops. Point zero. There. I know it would just be one. What am I doing? Don't need F. You only need to declare F for a float if it has a decimal. I think, unless it's like updated. No, yeah, you have to have F. What if I put a 0? Does that count? Nope, it has to have F. Come on. Look at that. And then we'll just have my, get rid of this, because this is, it screws up the code. Don't need that anymore. Yes. Actually, I should probably, because I might, I don't know, maybe I need to make more variables. Probably not, but I'm just going to leave a space there. So this would be, yeah, this would just be float, local default, towards local default. It's because it's not declared inside. Yep. If I do equal 5 plus, does that count? Shite. I don't want it to be an update, because if it's an update, it won't, it'll just be stuck. It'll be, this is what I meant earlier about local variables. They can get glued to a number. Fuck. So what if I do float local faults and then do this? Is that acceptable? I didn't think so. Local default equal null. Oh, yeah, it's not null file. Right. Not allowed to do that. So if I make this equal 1, it will always be 1 no matter what I do. Because that's the first line of code. It'll always be, and it'll always come back to it. Constantly run that. Always be 1. I can make it plus equals 1. But that, I don't think I can. I have to do that after it's declared. Okay. Yeah, during the declaration, you can't do that. It has to be after. If local variable is equal to false, do that. Otherwise, don't do that. Huh. Man, local variables are pretty tricky. I mean, I can make another like bool uh, statement thingy. Like I can give it, I can assign it, and then the problem with that is I'd have to have everything in an if, but then that'd be three if statements deep. I don't think putting it down here would fix it. Like if I, let's say I did that, and I did float local default equals 2.5, and I have local default. Immediately I have to equal this. It's the exact same problem as declaring it from up above. Uh, else, even if I put it inside another, if I put it inside an if statement, it still won't work right. And this would be instantly fixed if I just made it declared. Uh, would be easier. How to change a local unique local variable change. There we go. What really one won't? What the hell? So that's what we was talking about earlier. I didn't realize I had a reset method. Damn it! How do I do this without a bool? I mean, I technically have two bools available to me, but the second level right here is not. Wait, hang on, right here. Can't use that. Fuck! Shit! I could make a double variable. That don't seem like that would work. It's also annoying, and I hate that. Oh, why am I so tired? Fuck. Um, damn it. If I make a bool here, they're not gonna recognize uh the thing, and if I encapsulate it, that'd be three. That'd be three levels. Um, which would work because I could do like if how many bools are there? Like I could just do if whatever, and then make the variable, and then they'll check for which if statement has triggered local variables or local variables true or false, and that would isolate it from the update method. It won't update anymore for that particular variable because it's no longer in that area. Uh, Problem is, damn, local variables are annoying. Can I make a local variable equal? Wait, I made a new one, and I equals default value because it has to be declared up here, otherwise I have to declare it down here. Can I just do a double? Hang on, I don't know if I tried this before. I wanted to try local variable, local default equal default value times. Did I make a new one? I can't remember. Local multiplier. Local default equals this. Problem is, I think it's going to run through this code. It's going to hit this, and then it's just going to keep going back and forth between. It's going to lock it into this value, and they're just going to like fight for supreme. These two values are going to fight each other, and it's not going to go anywhere unless there's something I don't understand about declaring variables. Where if you have two equals in a row, the top one gets canceled out. I don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure it works the other way. All right, save. So I'll try that again. Yeah, we're fighting each other constantly. It's like wiggling back and forth. Default value is going to be 0.5 times 1 because it's a local multiplier, which means it's just 0.5. And then you got the current value in the local, that's just default value again. And then the maximum target value is 1, which you can't reach because it's being times by default. It's becoming equal to default value, and it's getting times by local. And the only way to, I think the only way to fix it is to separate it out. I guess I could use a separate variable so it doesn't do that. I try a plus. Can I do a plus? I think I can't. There might be a way to fix this. It's really janky, but I think I can do float local variable equals no, actually I got it backwards. So we'll take this, put this up here. Bam, we got our thing. We'll go down here. We'll make a new one. Call it local variable. And we'll have it equal to local default plus whatever this is. And then we'll have local variable. And damn it. So I declared it. Shit. But it still works though, because we could just use local default. No, can we? No, we can't, because that's gonna keep updating. Shit. So damn it. Fuck. I thought I had it. My brain. There's too many layers of nonsense. My brain. Ah. Ah. I need a drink. I'll be right back. Oh, soda poppy, come here. An answer already on that. That is insane. Man, they got crazy ability to sense smell. Insanity. How the hell do they do that? It's crazy. It's some superpower shit. How the hell can they eat this shit? So much weird stuff in here. Retry connection. There we go. Ow. Ah, man. Shit. Local default equals default value times local multiplier. We have a number. Uh, can't put itself into it. Frick. If I can't put itself into the damn variable, then that's redundant. Local variable. If I make float local variable equal local default, it's just gonna override the next change because it's gonna be equal. Plus equals would not work because the equal would again override it now. So when you declare it, you can't. If you declare something, you're not allowed to plus equals. It can only equal if it's declared. Um, Damn, this is. I think this is impossible. It has to be a declared class variable up here. I don't think there's any way around this. Could just use regular old numbers. Yep. Fuck this shit. I'm done. Maybe there's a way to do it. I don't know why you'd want to do it. I'm not sure what use it there is to doing that, but I'm just gonna use numbers now, and I'll just times those numbers by the declared. I'll just use the multiplier instead because it's easier that way. Uh, so let's see. Get rid of this there. Let's see. 0.5 f plus times local multiplier plus math f dot move towards still won't let me do it. Fuck. What the hell? Local variables suck. You're unassigned, you bitch. Oh, you're gonna like make like three fucking goddamn floats? Why? And every time I make it, it's just gonna fucking override what I just did previously. I guess I need to make it simpler. This is too complicated. Local variables are too simple. I gotta make it stupid proof. Float, base F, base float, base value equal 0.5F times local multiplier. I think I gotta break it up because I need more variables. Then float the thing, which would be this. Thing. Math equals base value dude man. The problem here is it's not do math is not going to be changed to 1 because of how math F works. So maybe I could do math equals base value well, breaking it up does not seem to be making this any easier. Float local variable, or no, if we can go back to local default. Local default equal shit. This is so hard. And local variables are extra simple. They just can't do jack shit, can they? I thought they were more flexible. Now, yeah, I think it's just to use raw numbers. There's really no way to do this. So we'll kill this, don't need it. And just do equals math f 0.5 f. Or actually, we could just do default times local multiplier. Actually, here's where local variables would be pretty useful. So we'll do a float base equals this. I can actually put this at the top. It's like good for like base, extremely basic shit. Base value. And then this could be base value times 2. And this can be also base value, because we don't care. It's always, base value will always be base value. Whereas when we input base value in certain functions, it doesn't care about the value, the variable. It only cares about what the variable outputs. And that output can be modified, which is why base value times 2 would be whatever base value is equal to, which is default value times local multiplier times 2. And then see base value. So this works. Instead of using base value, we're going to use local default. Because local default is equal to base value, which is up here, which doesn't change, which is a problem because local default is going to be equal to that, and this never changes. Damn it! Base value plus 1. Base value divided by 2. That would work, just because it makes it, it's not exactly the same, so it wouldn't cause as many problems. So even if base value is static, base value divided by 2 is not static. If it's exactly equal to base value, it becomes static. Yeah, that should fix it. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it does work. If I did more math in here, I could get it to work exactly how I wanted. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to test it to see if it works, see if my theory is correct. Nope, I got stuck. I thought it would move. Apparently, I am full of shit. Because a damn variable won't change. It's equal to base value divided by 2, which never changes. Therefore, it won't work. So I just had to literally do it. I had to do it manually. I had to do it 0.5f times local multiplier, and then I have to do 0.5 times can you make a float inside here? I'm not gonna do that. That's just gonna fuck up everything. I just need to use numbers. Why do I hate numbers so much? 0.5f times local multipliers times 2, and then 0.5. Which would work. But again, that's pointless. I might as well just type in default. I might as well. There's really no reason not to. It looks better, and it makes more sense. Default value times 2. Yeah, that works because it's our default value is already being times by local multiplier. So it basically, it is a little different because this is just making a number. This isn't actually changing the variable. What if I stick this all together? Can you do that? Oh, that looks horrible. Yeah, default value times local multiplier times 2. I think that'll fix it. I'm not sure. It's a good thing I did this because local variables are a pain in the ass. Okay. Let's see if it needs to slide smoothly. No, it still didn't work. God damn it. Why do you exhaust me so much? Ah. 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 0.5, 0.5 times 2. It should be 1, 5. So timesing by times. Unless it's doing it like algebra, where it's multiplication first, which would be it would be 0.5. Because 0.5 times 1 is 0.5, and then 0.5, it would literally be the same thing, I think. Or no, because it was 2. So yeah, 2 times... no, wait. Because local multiplier was 1, I times it by 2. So 1 times 2 should be 2, and then 2 times 0.5 should be 1. Yeah, I don't know. 0.5 times 1 would be 0.5. I don't know. Oops. Well, I learned a lot doing this. Local variables are extremely limited without some sort of true statement to separate it out. You gotta make an isolator. And you have to make an isolator that once it runs, cancels itself out. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, if I made this 3 levels of ifs, that probably would work. But it's just not necessary. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. So basically, if I do float local default equal default value. I'm just gonna do it anyways. I don't want it to go default value times local multiplier. Then do if local default is greater than 0. Because we don't want 0. It should never be 0. Run this code. Then when this code is ran, we could do, I don't think we need to do anything. Local default equal map f download times default value. We need to make another variable here, which would be local variable equals local default. Then down here we would set local variable local variable. It's spelled wrong. You can always go down. You can never go up. So if I make a new variable in an if, that variable will never be seen by any of the other ifs above it or any of the other lines of code. So you can never go up in code. It only goes down. It's like dark devotion. You can only go down. There's no going back. Unless you delete code, redo it. So there. So now, local default, and then the local variables true or false statement would kick in, and it would hope. I mean, in theory, I think it would only run these because it's been like locked out of the other ones. I think. I don't know. If this doesn't work, then I think local variables are way more simpler than I initially thought. Like they're way more simpler than I thought. Change this to local variable, and this would be local variable times 2, just like before. This should also be. I'm beginning to think this is not going to work. Because this has to run first every time, which is fine, because we don't want that to change. then if it's not 0, local variable becomes local default. Which I think that's where the problem is. Because this will constantly be changed. Local variable will be constantly changed to this. Even though we're all the way down here, this top one is still gonna trickle down into all of these unless I reset it. I think I would fucking need another set variables here. Yeah, the way I, because these the ifs local variable true or false that I made was designed for something else. It wasn't designed for these variables. These variables will be their own separate thing. I had the same problem when trying to make a local timer. It just would not work at all. I had to go and use a declared variable. Well, shit. I give up. I am defeated. And we're just going to move on. There's literally no point in having the local thing. It doesn't work how I wanted it to work. I'm just going to delete it. All these locals, we're getting rid of them. Don't need it anymore. Get out of here. You're garbage. It's so basic, there's no point. Like, you could just input default values, and then at that point, what's the point? Like, there's no point in continuing. It doesn't do anything that you're not already doing. Let's get rid of this. 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 Now you make all the code go back up. How do I do that? Oh, like that. I'm an idiot. Alright, so get rid of this. Get rid of it. Else. This is acceptable. This is fine. Wait, hang on. Fucked up. Here's the bottom one. Blue one. Yes. Just needs to. Bam. 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 And then like that. And then target yourself true. If not, do that. Target value, target transform. That is completely. No, wait. No, that's right. That's right. So that's good. down to 100 lines exactly. That's pretty cute. Try to make it smaller. Ah, my stomach. Stop hurt. I mean, here's a good example of a local variable. Vector 3, move vector equal new vector 3. It's just a number. That's it. But it incorporates a declared variable, so it's more flexible. This also means we do not need this. This. Let's see. All right, so it should just work like normal now. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. What if I fuck with this? Does that do anything, or is it? Oh yeah, it does. It's moving towards the maximum value. So if I change it to 5, it'll keep going. Bye. That's funny. Come back, please. Meow. And then 0 would be there, where it started. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna have move towards angle with the current settings it has now. If I hit a reset, didn't do it. Was it to move towards angle? I thought it was. Maybe I did it wrong. Move towards angle. Move towards angle. Float angle. Angle equals. Oh shit! Could I have just done that? Did I do it wrong? No, I'm an idiot. I think what I did is I spaced it wrong. I'm supposed to do that. I'm just a dummy, dude. Like that. Float angle equal math dot blah 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 blah. Angle vector angle. See. I thought that was a rotation. It's not. Well, then what are you? What the hell? Oh, I had target value 0. That doesn't do it. Why? It just does the same thing. Why does move towards angle do the same thing? Did I fuck up? I must have fucked up. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Look at what I did. Oh, I'm so dumb. That's what happens when you're copy paste. What is it? Copy paste. I can't think of it. Copy paste happy. Because there's trigger happy and then there's copy paste happy. Oh my god! Of course it wasn't fucking working. I fucking did it wrong. So I thought you had to assign your fucking shit. You could just make it equal. Well, I don't. The local variables would be a lot more flexible. You could just be like, here's a variable. You don't have to assign it anything. Hang on. What the fuck? You could do that? I probably would have worked. I could have used the local variables how I wanted to if I could have done it that way. Because it's not equal to anything. It's just, here's an angle. God damn it. Oh well. Shit happens. I'll try that after I test all of these, because I already deleted the fucking code. I'll just write it. I'll write it again. I will go ahead and run this like that. I am getting hungry. 2:14. Well, I'll run this and then I'm out of here. So move towards angle, play. Should rotate, I think, right? It's at 0, so that might be a problem. Ooh, that's different. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, because it's moving towards an angle. Oh shit, that might be what I need. Because I can have it update, because it's going diagonal. I can have it move towards the angle that I have that I generate from the eyes, because the eyes are constantly rotating, and I can get the angle from there somehow. I just have to get the angle relative to the three objects, and I gotta figure out which one I need. So that's pretty cool. This does work. Move towards angle might be what I need. I'm just gonna fuck with all these. Change the max value to 5, and then that seems fine. The only problem with this is it's extremely, what's the one? It's like relative to where it started. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. We shall see. This did work, so that's cool. So that did not work at all. Yeah, it doesn't care about poor little cube. Poor little cube is not working. Well, that worked. Kinda. No, it's not moving. If I do this, what the hell's that? Huh. Oh, that's weird. Should move down. That's not moving. What's going on? That worked. Huh. Well, I have a lot of problems, but we'll fix them later. I am out of this beach. Bye.